look great.
I didn't do my makeup this morning.
It was a little early. Alright, Dad, so what truck are we driving?
We're driving the Peterbilt, 1985 Peterbilt I acquired from my cousin Herb Bailey.
And what truck is Jimmy driving?
Jimmy's driving the Kenworth, the old original Kenworth. Ted bought that in about 1983 or 4. And it was a wrecked truck. I got traffic. And he rebuilt the whole thing in the farm shop. He was pretty proud of himself. Had to put on a whole new cab. Oh, how's that do? Whole new hood. Then he repainted the whole thing all by himself. Originally it was mostly to move tractors around the farm, D6s, but also he had grain racks for it. And then in about 1989, we got the opportunity to start trucking for the local grain co-op. And they helped us buy another truck. That was a 1981 Kenworth cab over. And then shortly after that, we bought the trailer for the Kenworth. So we had 2 trucks to truck for. Kenworth has since been repainted twice, really. Once since I've owned it. Now all the trucks are in fleet colors. That sun is bright.
Very bright.
Aha! There they are.
So you and Uncle Ted started a trucking company in 1989?
Yes. And we trucked for the local co-op for about 7 years, I'd say. And we actually bought one more truck. Yeah, one more. A couple more, but some of them we replaced. One of them broke.
And in the heyday, how many people did you have working for you?
2 other drivers besides myself and Ted. So I guess in the heyday we must have 4 trucks. Because we had the green one, we had Ted's brown Freightliner, we had the Kenworth, and then we had the original 81 Kenworth cab over. Except for the Kenworth there, my uncle was really into cab overs. That's what he drove when he was a truck driver in the 60s. And got a shift to Jake. Signal. And now, for me, they're just so cheap. Nobody wants to drive a cab over, so you can get a cab over with 400 horsepower for $3,000. Whereas those long nose there, they can cost, oh my gosh, I don't know, 10, 20,000, maybe more, depending on condition. But in my whole, what do we got here? I couldn't read it.
I didn't read it either.
Huh.
Assuming it doesn't play.
In my whole fleet, I don't think I got $40,000 in trucks and trailers. And some of these guys will spend $50,000 on one 10-wheeler. I mean, it's a shiny piece of equipment, but that's an expensive truck to only use 1 month out of the year. Most of the time these trucks are parked in a shed. I don't know if we videoed any of them in the barn at Siler's or not. I'm not sure.
Might have videoed using the peat to pick up hay.
Yeah. So the peat gets a little use. Kenworth gets a little use as a seat truck, but not a lot.
Why don't you explain why we truck to the river?
Well, it's all about the margins. I mean, for me, it represents about 25 cents a bushel more for a sale price for me to get it to the river versus dumping it in a local elevator in St. John. And, you know, being I'm one of the smallest farmers in the area with, what do we figure, 1,200 acres, maybe 1,400 now with the North Place. But in order to be viable, you got to try and find margins in grain that'll keep your profit up. So, and since we had the trucking company, we had all the trucks, and we've done it for years. It's difficult, it's a pain, but it represents, you know, I was doing a little math the other day. If you move 50,000 bushels down to the river, well, let's do a little easier. 40,000 bushels. You're getting 25 cents a bushel more for any sale price you choose. That's $10,000 more you're going to sell your grain for than if you had it locally. And that definitely pays your fuel, pays your driver, pays your tires, your license, your insurance. It covers all that and then some. Does that explain?
Yep. Alright, why don't you tell us the most pickly situation you've ever been in as a truck driver?
Oh, God, I know exactly what that is. Better hand me my coffee first.
Alright.
It was winter time. Of course, back in the day, we had to truck snow on the ground, whatever, we had to go. And I was coming back from Endicott, that little town we just came through, on my last load of the day. And the roads were not great, but, you know, I wasn't chained up or anything. Oh, look, they swapped that crap. Squirrel! Sorry. So, and I was driving, did I already say that? I was driving Ted's truck, and I wasn't very comfortable in it. It was the big one. And I'd been used to driving the Kenworth, but another driver was in that one. And like I say, coming back from Endicott, last load of the day, it was probably 6 o'clock. It was dark because it was winter time. And I was just coming back real slow and easy, kind of down the last hill into St. John. And I happened to look up and I saw the little red lights blinking across that indicates a train's coming. And of course, we don't get very many trains in St. John. And it didn't even dawn on me for a second. I'm like, that's weird. Those things are never on. And then it's like, oh no, that means a train's coming. And like I say, the roads were very, very slick. And I started jaking and braking and got myself stopped. My trailers were all kinked up and everything, crossways in the road. But I stopped, and here comes a little train by at about 3 miles an hour. I mean, they go real slow, but I mean, it would have been ugly. And I just, my heart was beating 1,000 times a minute. Hit by a slow-moving train, that would not have been good. And it took him several minutes to get by, and once he got by, I put it in gear. There was 2 cars coming from the other side, and it took me a minute to get myself straightened out so that they could go through. But yeah, I just about met my maker that night. That was scary.
What's the worst breakdown you've ever had?
Well, there's been several. But probably one of the worst ones was coming from Lancaster. I was hauling barley. And again, it was in the big unit. I think it was in the green truck, but pulling both trailers, because you could haul a lot of barley in those 2 trailers. And it was so full that we would roll the tarp, but it wouldn't be cinched down tight enough until the barley settled. So I would roll down the road from Lancaster to Winona, which is a nice bumpy road, kind of like the road to Endicott. And at Winona, there's a stop sign. I would stop and roll my tarps. the rest of the way down and cinch them up. And I got out, walking around, rolling my tarps, and I smelled 90 weight, 80, 90. And I'm like, that doesn't smell good. And I walked and looked around, and one of my wheel bearings on the trailer was completely out. I mean, the tires were all kinked, the wheels, bearing, it was like, oh, that's not good. I'm not going anywhere. Because I'm fully loaded. And I thought, what the heck am I going to do now? Of course, no cell phones, not that there was service there anyway. But a bus, a St. John or Endicott school bus came by and noticed I had trouble and gave me a ride into Winona. And I went to one of the elevators and I found a phone. So I called Ann, Ted's wife, and I said, I got problems. I'm really broke down in Winona. And I told her what all he needed to bring. And within an hour, Ted was there with all the tools we needed to fix it. And probably 2-3 hours later, we had a new bearing on. But that was a fairly major breakdown. I mean, I guess another one that I wasn't driving was when Ted was driving his brown Freightliner that he was so proud of because it had a 4 1/4 cat in it. And he was just coming out of the elevator down here at the river that we were hauling into. He was empty, I was coming in full, and he stops and he goes, Slick, I'm broke down. And I said, oh hell, fix it, you know, put a patch on it, let's go, there's grain to haul. No, I'm really broke down. And I got out of my truck and looked at his frame and it was completely broken half. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I can get it home because he's empty now. But he says, this truck's not going anywhere. And no doubt. So that was a major breakdown, but no drama. He just noticed it when he got the weight off of it that it probably drove a lot nicer.
So when did you guys dissolve the trucking company?
About 1996.
I was just a wee pup.
What's that?
Said I was just a wee pup.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why you don't remember very many of the trucks.
No. I do remember sleeping in the sleeper of the green one, though.
Yeah. I got a BLT behind me.
Now, what is a BLT?
Big league trucker. I'm Doug.
And I'm Erin.
And I'm Jim.
And we're Schuster Farm Shenanigans.
If you like what you're seeing, be sure to give us a thumbs up.
And feel free to subscribe for more content.
And any comments, leave them down below in the comment section.
Thanks for watching.